Hello, and welcome to this overview session of the Itential Automation Platform 2021.1, in which we focus on the strategy behind the new features and improvements. My name is Alex Digitz. I'm a Senior Product Manager here at Itential, and I'm going to walk you through the strategic decisions that we followed in IAP 21.1, which is released in May. While there are tons of improvements that we've done, I think there's going to be over 100 improvements and over 40 new features added to our platform. You can find all of them in the documentation site, docs.itential.io, as well as on our release notes that are published per email. There's a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. One of them I hope will really transform the way you build workflows in the future in our Gen 2 canvas, and it is the transformations on transitions feature. What we plan long term, and I've talked about that before, is in our Gen 2 canvas, we want to put the business logic first. So what the workflow looks like should actually be a whiteboard drawing of what you want your workflow to do. Without any steps like query tasks, data manipulation, even JSTs, because they tend to make it hard to understand workflows. They make it hard to pick up someone else's work. They make workflows less maintainable and less reusable. And that is our goal to counter that. And so in this release 21.1, we're going to have JST tasks that can be placed directly on transformations themselves, which brings a couple of advantages, which I'm going to show in a demo in another video, because you can really not only shrink down your workflow, but also completely change how you build your workflows, because technically you don't even have to go into the input variable section on each task anymore. Transformations on transitions takes care of that for you, because it literally renders a JST with the input or the output from one task and the input of the next task, and you can just drag and drop to tell us exactly where the data should flow. Moving on to IAP as API gateway. It has been asked for a long time from a bunch of you, from a bunch of our customers, to open all API routes and make them available for every system that we integrate to. So any integration, any adapter you have, what we're doing is we're looking at the Pronghorn JSON document, at the route that is defined there, and we're actually exposing those routes in IAP. There's a ton of use cases for that. I mean, you can actually use IAP as an API gateway. We have everything that's available that you need for that. We have fine-grained access control for each API route, letting you decide which user can execute that route. And there's a ton of use cases for that. You can call those routes directly from external systems. You can use them within your custom applications, but we can also use them in our own applications. And a big example there that I'm going to show in a later demo video is the JSON Forms application that will now be able to populate drop-down lists and have dependencies directly on your external systems. On the lower left, we have the extensible device support, which is our way of saying we'll put the device support into our delivery engagement, into our customers, into our awesome people who build open source stuff, into their hands, because there has been a lot of wait time for extensible device support. When we have to go through it through product, there's often challenges with us getting access to those correct devices, maybe even at the customer lab, to make sure we can develop and test against those. So there were a lot of challenges that made it longer than necessary, made it take longer than necessary for us to add device support if you have a new device type that you want to run a command template on, or a new device type that you want to have a configuration compliance check on, or even a compliance check plus zero-touch remediation. With the extensible device support, we've basically enabled you to tell us what to call for command templates for a device that we might not know yet, which IAG module to call, which net live status to call. All of that is available for you to freely configure. There's a ton of shortcuts that you can do for most often used commands as well. So you have full flexibility to make command templates your own and make them usable with any device type that you want. The second part is actually exposing a parser framework where you can tell us what kind of device you want to support in Configuration Manager. And we'll let you, with a couple of simple steps, we'll let you build a parser that so that Configuration Manager can understand, okay, this is a new line of configuration, this is a parent-child relationship between this configuration, and you don't have to build that from scratch. We have templates available for you, and we have a live validator available for you in our UI, so that you can see exactly what kind of rules you tell us, what that end result would be in terms of us parsing the configuration. And so that works with for any of our NSO customers. If your net supports load native config, that call, then you can immediately use it once you've built that parser in our Configuration Manager. You can use that immediately to build configuration trees, to run compliance reports, and to do remediation of out of compliance config. And for our IAG customers, there's a way you can inject a set config role into IAG to also extend the device support framework there. The last point I wanted to mention in this overview session is the modern network validation. What we've done for a long time is we've let you schedule compliance reports and basically say, here's the config we want to have on a device. Let's check if the device is currently actually in that state. And then we went one step further and allowed you to, even in a zero-touch workflow overnight, automatically remediate anything that was not in line with that proposed or this golden configuration. What that left short, though, is it was always a reactive approach. Something bad got onto the device, and then we were able to fix it. With this modern network validation approach that we have in 21.1, and it's a task called Run Config Compliance that we expose now in Config Manager as well as in Workflow Builder, what you can do is you can just check, you can just give us some config that you plan to push on a device, you can give us the device name, and we'll let you know before you even make the change, will that break any compliance rules, will that be against anything that you've set as a standard for your devices, and we'll even allow you yourself to manage how those cases should be handled. So it could be everything from just show a warning message to an admin or a manager needs to approve this config change to we're blank not allowing this config at all if it breaks any of our golden configuration. All of that's available to you. Again, many more features in 21.1. We're going to take a deep dive and demo in one of the following videos. A lot of them, and the rest of the information will be available to you on docs.itential.io. Thank you for joining. See you next time.